guys, it's Emily. I am back with another speed build. Today I am doing a robotics retail shop. I have been wanting to do this since Discovery University came out, and you know, in my worlds I place stores where my Sims can go. Like I have a grocery store that I made. And so I wanted, with the robotics coming with Discovery University, I wanted a retail space that specialized in robotics. And I also have some electronics from Get to Work, just kind of a nerd hangout. I knew I wanted to have it on the Foxbury grounds, Foxbury Institute. And so, you know, I had planned for it to be a real modern building. Kind of going with the futuristic robotic servo theme. And so I had a couple inspiration photos, but this wasn't an actual floor plan. Like if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I like to use floor plans and then just modify it from there. And this one, again, is from my imagination. So I had some inspiration photos, like I said, but it's kind of a conglomeration of a few different ones. And so you'll see the editing. I cut out a lot of it just because I switched so many things, and I was kind of changing my mind just because it was coming from my imagination and not from a floor plan. There was a build I saw. I can't remember who did it. I follow a handful of people on YouTube, and that was also an inspiration. The pool in the bottom. You'll see that I had water later on. That was inspired by that build, and I'm going to definitely link that in the description so you can check that out because the build was awesome. So yeah, I wanted to have a retail space. I work retail in real life, or I used to, and so it's definitely a familiar place for me, and I like building retail shops. I have a handful of them in my gallery. I built a full mall that had like a jewelry store, a toy store, a pet store, just a bunch of different stores. And I really enjoyed decorating and merchandising, as you will. You'll see here that I'm using the tool mod. I use that pretty much in all my builds now. It's a mod for builders, but in order to use this lot, you don't have to have it installed. I'll link that below if you want to check it out and try and use it yourself. It's how I created the round shape. You'll see it's very tedious. I left a lot of it in this time. Normally I kind of cut that out because it can be very tedious, but I wanted to show how finicky it can be. And so I left that in right here. I did want to, show you guys that, but I didn't want to show the whole thing because it really drags on and on. It's definitely a useful mod for builders. The other one you'll see I use a lot. I think I have pretty much used it in all of my builds, speed builds, is the red shelf for merchandising. I will link that as well. So yeah, that circular space, again, it was kind of from my imagination. I didn't know what I was planning to use how to use the space. I was really going for the outdoor aesthetic in this one, and so when I went inside the building, I wasn't really thinking about floor plan inside. I was just going for the exterior, and so again, I edited a lot of that out because I ended up kind of experimenting and then changing my mind. And you know, originally I had wanted to put like toys, like the drones and stuff on the first floor, and then kind of upstairs have the more like the mechanical suit that you can wear. And I ended up flip-flopping them in the end, just the way it ended up working out. But you know, I didn't have a real solid plan. It was just really build as you go, and so there's a lot of edits that would have made for a really long video. So you'll see that I kind of jump around once we get inside. So yeah, it ended up being kind of an awkward space, but in the end, I think I really made it work. I really think I will use it in my game, and I hope you guys enjoy using it in yours. With the tool mod, you have to access it from live mode, so you'll see that I'm actually building with my sim on the lot, because you have to flip-flop back and forth to modify the objects. Definitely check out a YouTube video regarding that mod. It's, like I said, super helpful. It's really essential for my creativity, I find. There's a lot of limitations with the building that I think this mod kind of frees you up to do a lot more things. The build that I'm currently working on, it was a build by request. It's a house, and so that'll be my next video. Definitely check that out. I used the tool mod a lot to rotate a lot of things, and I ended up getting some really awesome architecture, especially the exterior architecture that you wouldn't normally see with a lot of round shapes. And you know, I think that's one thing I really like the tool mod for, is you can create those round shapes and move objects in a way that you normally wouldn't be able to. There is no access, even though there's a pool down at the bottom. I don't have any access. If you wanted your Sims to be able to swim in that, you definitely could change that up a little bit and have a staircase going down there. I really was just going for the kind of floating look, you know, modern and sleek. And again, it was inspired by that YouTuber's build. I will definitely link that for you, because it was such an excellent build and very inspiring. So I ended up placing a rug, or it's like a stone rug, you'll see there, from, I think, Get Together, or I can't remember exactly which one it's from, but I ended up moving that because in the end I put a deck in that circular area that ends up being the space where the machines to like build the mechanical suit, or the Discovery University mechanical, I can't remember what it's called, I apologize, but as well as the experimenting machine from Get to Work. So that would kind of be like the outdoor workspace. I don't know if you can set it for sale or not, those two pieces, but I was kind of thinking that's, you know, like my sim could come and buy the machine and bring it home if they wanted. But again, I don't know if you can set those for sale or not. You'll see that I use countertops. It's something that I've done before, countertops for the roof. Because I've created a little bit of a half wall, but I still wanted a flat roof, that is the way that I accomplish that, is I raise up the countertops, and it creates a flat roof, and you know, you can have all various different colors, and I really like the look of it. And I miss the, you know, the flat roof. I know you can unlock there's a flat, if you use the show hidden objects, there is a flat roof that shows up, but I have not been able to use it successfully when placing it, and able to put tile on it, so that's unfortunate. So the countertop is kind of my way around it. There's one bathroom. As you'll see, there actually is a third floor. I didn't merchandise that, I didn't create access to it, but there's enough room where you could put maybe another bathroom or even a bed up there. You know, if your Sims teleport, or you know, are like a vampire or spellcaster who can, you know, ride the broom, or you know, turn into a bat and get up there, you wouldn't need to put stairs. But there's definitely room on the third floor if you wanted to expand and have, you know, more living area in this build. So I didn't do that. I contemplated it, but I thought, no, this is a retail space, and I just kind of want to focus on the retail space. So you'll see here that I'm adding the suits. The idea was I wanted them to be behind glass, like they're kind of protected. They're real expensive items. I ended up switching it down to the first floor. I think it ended up working out really well. Like I said, the layout definitely feels like it flows better in the end. And those cabinets that you're seeing me work on here, this was something a technique I used in my herbal dispensary build, where you bring up the counters and this glass case from the floor below. Excuse me. And it ends up creating a retail counter that's protected. And again, with these mechanical creations, they're kind of a high-ticket item, and so I wanted them to feel real special and be displayed, and it's kind of like a fancy piece of jewelry, where you wouldn't have it out sitting in the counter, and God forbid we have kleptomaniac Sims who come and steal some of it. So my thinking was these are protected pieces, and you'll see that I end up creating a space basically with a guarded door. You kind of have to have special access to get to it, or be accompanied by a retail person. In my imagination, that's not the way it's going to actually happen when you're playing The Sims, but that was kind of what I envisioned as I was building it. That it's a real kind of by permission only area. And I don't know if by placing the door from Get Famous, if there'll be a bouncer there if you visit it. I guess if your sim owns it, probably not. Like, you'd have to hire somebody. But if it was just a store that you visited, that NPCs ran, I don't know if there would be a bouncer there, but it's possible. You could definitely change out the door if, that was an issue. Right here, you'll see that door and kind of, making that area a special area. I took some inspiration from some retail photos, like electronic shops. This wall in particular was inspired by a photo I found. Again, we ended up using a lot of merchandise from Get to Work and Discovery University. I really wanted to have a pop of color. I think that's a real modern look. Is kind of have black and white, or gray and white, or kind of primary colors or bland colors, and then have a pop of color. And so I chose orange. I really like kind of the orange and gray and black. Here you'll see I'm using that tool mod again to rotate the counters. Those are, I think, from Discovery University, some coffee tables, and I rotate them and then elevate them using the 9 key for PC anyway, on the keyboard. And it creates these little in-wall units. And here's the red shelf again, essential for placing clutter or getting things so they're aligned properly and not looking like they're floating. If you just use the 9 and 0 keys, a lot of times things won't match up exactly, and depending on the angle you're at. And so with this red shelf, you can really get definitely precise placement, so it looks like they're actually on the shelf rather than floating. Again, I have these for sale. I think I've marked everything for sale, and I think when you download it, that it'll already be set. You definitely can change it, or put in different merchandise what you want. This cloning machine, I was able to rotate and hang it on the wall like a display. Obviously, you can't use it that way because your sim can't access it. But for the purpose of, a retail space and a sim being able to purchase it, I think I really liked the look of it that way. Same with that wormhole generator. I shrunk it down. I actually haven't play tested to see if the sim could buy it. But I did set it for sale, so the potential is there. I probably will playtest it, because now I'm thinking about it, I'm actually quite curious if they'll be able to buy it, and or if the sim would be able to replace it, given that it's shrunken down and not set on the floor. So that's actually interesting to think about, and I'm kind of curious now what the end result will be. And will the for sale sign be odd or not? So here you have your cleaner bots, your gardener bots, fix-it bots, and party bots of all the different colors. On this wall, again, I used the tool mod to rotate and make wall shelves, the rounded wall shelves. I think they're real modern looking, and I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I end up putting all different kinds of drones. We got some new drones with Discovery University, and then Get Together came with two different styles drones for video recording. And I made a little, retail section of all the different kinds of drones. And unfortunately, I was not able to include a lot of the, over to the right-hand side, I ended up creating a toy section, toy and lamp, and basically everything robot themed. And I had to cut a lot of that out because I started with them on the back wall, and then I shifted everything forward, and it was a lot of little tedious moving things and placing things to get them to sit on the shelves. And so again, it would have made for a very long video and probably not very interesting. But you can see some of it, so you know exactly kind of how I'm placing things and making everything work. And at the end, of course, I have the video of panning around the room so you can see how everything is placed. Again, I'm just using my real life retail eye. I didn't plan this out ahead of time, but so that's why I turn the camera a lot and look at things and see how it's sitting and see if I like the feel of it. I would actually do the same thing when I was setting my store in real life. You just try something out and shift it a little bit and check it out from different angles, and then adjust as needed. So I think that's why I have built a lot of retail spaces for The Sims, is because I feel at home there, and it's something I really enjoy, and I really enjoy my Sims having that opportunity to shop in these retail shops. And of course I have to include the costumes that we got with the update. They're just so adorable. Thanks so much for watching.